Welcome to Diceborn. This is our show from 17th Shard where we're playing through a campaign of the Mistborn Adventure Game. If you have watched Season 2... Sorry, I'm going to start that again.
If you've watched Season 2, congrats.
Congrats.
Tell us what happened.
Tell us what happened.
Please.
Put in the comments what happened.
Don't spoil all of Season 2 in the comments for Episode 1 of Season 2. That might not be the best idea.
Don't do that. Do you know what? I'm going to keep this intro in. Yeah, so welcome to Season 2 of Diceborn. We haven't come up with a subtitle for this, and we haven't named our group just yet. Maybe that'll happen this season. I don't know.
The originals.
The originals. I'm Ben. I play Dervish.
Problem children.
I'm Ben. I play Dervish, and I am joined by Ian.
Hi, I play Royce Hadriel, who has done nothing wrong ever.
I would debate that. I'm also joined by Grace.
I play Marelyn Drumali, who has done all the things wrong ever, and I am proud of it.
She owns her mistakes.
More like owns her crimes. Her mistakes, not so much.
I'm also joined by Matt.
I'm Matt. I play Luka, Ilariel, and he doesn't know what he's done right and what he's done wrong, but he's done some stuff.
I'm also joined by Rosemary.
Hello, everyone. I play Hallie de Pazel. We're going to see she did some things right last season, and now we're going to see her spiral into terrible, terrible life choices that are all self-sabotaging and lots of fun. At least that is the current plan. We'll see.
I cannot wait. And we're also joined by our illustrious Lord Roller, Natasha.
And I play all of the other characters. And she's going to destroy all of our plans. I've already sent them like doom spiraling with new secrets.
Yes. It has been a fun little prep session for this.
Yes, and if you're a patron, you might just get the chance to watch as Ian melts out of his chair in that particular session.
Yeah.
That may have happened.
Maybe.
Cannot wait for whatever that is to come out. Very excited. So this is season 2 of our Diceborn. Season 1 was episode 13, so this is a continuation of the story, so you could consider this an episode 14 of that storyline. If you haven't watched that, go watch that. This probably isn't a good... we don't know actually yet whether this is a good entry point. We'll find out. But things happened last season that you might want to know about. So I recommend go watching it. It's really good. It's really fun. For today's giveaway, I'm going to hand us over to Giveaway Ben.
Hey everyone, it's me, Matt. And if you're expecting someone else like Giveaway Ben, let me just give you a lowdown on what to expect with Diceborn Season 2, because things are going to be a little different, and especially a little different than we maybe thought they were going to be when we were recording these episodes. So first off, just to allay any concerns, there will be giveaways this season, I promise, but we won't be introducing one today. You can expect the first giveaway to open in 2 weeks or so when we release episode 2 of Diceborn. So that'll be 2 weeks from now. And we will announce a giveaway, and it's going to be great. I'm really excited for the giveaways that we have this season. Today, though, instead of doing a giveaway, since it's been a while, I thought we could provide you guys with a bit of an update on just like how things are going and how we got to this point, because it's been a while and we miss you guys. I'll maybe start with a bit of context, though, okay? So the 13 episodes of Diceborn Season 1 were recorded over the course of 8 months between March and October of 2022. And for most of that year, starting in May, we were recording and releasing episodes at the same time. So episode 13 of Season 1, the final episode, was recorded in late October 2022, and that was just 3 weeks before it aired in mid-November. Now, on reflection, we found that kind of concurrent pace a little demanding, so we decided pretty early on when we were planning for Diceborn Season 2 that we really wanted to record an entire season, or at least a substantial number of episodes beforehand. So we had a substantial buffer before we started releasing anything. And so that was our plan, keyword plan. We started recording Season 2 in the spring of 2023, which is 3 years ago now. And due to scheduling issues, you know, stuff like work and family and health and other real life commitments, by the end of the year, we only had 8 episodes recorded, and half of those actually were recorded in the last quarter of the year, September really to November, December. The first half of recording Season 2 in 2023 was rough. Recording went better in 2024, and while there were still delays, we were able to get a full, complete season that we were happy with by the end of November of 2024. Then, in 2025, we hit another bit of a roadblock with editing and post-production, both time and resources. We weren't really the same team that we were when we were recording Season 1, both in terms of our life circumstances had changed and people's availability had changed. And so we really didn't have the editing resources and manpower that we did for Season 1. And Alyx, or Featherwriter on the forums and Discord, has really stepped up. She's done a fantastic job editing all the episodes for this season. And we really wouldn't be what we are and what we're able to put out for you guys right now without her. But she's only one person, and we want this to be sustainable so she doesn't run away from us screaming, because she's very good at what she does. And this is a, volunteer thing. So we don't want her to be burned out on top of, her real life and other fun things that she wants to do. So we've been trying really hard to keep things sustainable. Now, you might be wondering, why did I get into that? Well, I think it was important to understand that, it's been 3 years and stuff was happening in those 3 years. But the fact is, we are releasing an episode to you right now that is 3 years old. And in early 2023, it was easy for us as a cast to assume that Giveaway Ben would be doing giveaways and that we would have one giveaway per episode. But these things change. And so these segments that we are putting out are just going to be a little disjointed sometimes from what us from 3 years ago thought they were going to be. So I guess I'm just going to suggest that live with the chaos and enjoy the surprise of what these segments will be. But all that said, I really am excited, and I know the rest of the cast is really excited that Diceborn Season 2 is finally out in the world and that you guys are finally going to get to enjoy this story. Our plan is to release episodes bi-weekly until we hit episode 8, which is going to come out May 3rd. So that'll be 8 episodes releasing bi-weekly. After that, there'll be a hiatus, and maybe we'll try to throw in some sort of talkback or live stream. We haven't really worked that out yet. Release for the second half of the season, will include the big finale for Dervish, Hallie, Marelyn, Luka, and Royce's stories. I think I remembered everyone, and Ghost. That'll be announced at a later date when we have enough edited episodes to be confident that we can maintain a steady release schedule like we're doing now without straining our editor. And I'll hopefully be able to give you another update about where things are at for the back half of Season 2 later this year. And now I'll just say a few words about the future of Diceborn. So I know some of you might be curious about what other actual play content the 17 Shard is planning. Most of you are likely aware that there's a new Brotherwise system, the Cosmere RPG. We are all, I think it's probably an understatement to say we're all huge fans of Brotherwise, and we are really, really, really excited about the possibility of future actual play projects using their game system and their materials because they're excellent. But right now, we're just really focused on finishing what we started, and we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves with planning new series until we know what our capacity will be. When we do get around to future actual play projects, they will probably be smaller in scope than Diceborn seasons 1 and 2. We just are really realizing we don't have the capacity to maintain these longer running series. Any future Diceborn series are likely going to be 1 or 2 shots. If we get any longer than that, a 5-episode miniseries like we did with Secrets in Stained Glass is probably about what our limit would be. If you can't wait to start consuming Cosmere RPG content, Shardcast's Josh, or Jofu on the forums and Discord, is a cast member of the Shards of Opportunity actual play series, which uses the Stormlight RPG system. So it's really great, and I guess we'll probably put a link in there in our video, a link to their content in our video description. So then you can check that out too, because that's great. But anyway, that's enough of me talking. I've blabbed on enough. I'll probably be back in 2 weeks with more about our giveaways, which again, I'm very excited about. But for now, sit back and enjoy the first episode of Diceborn Season 2.
Thank you, giveaway, Ben. What an exciting first giveaway for Season 2. Wow.
Cannot believe that prize, Ben. Wow, you really did an amazing job with it.
Thank you. I really tried very hard with this one. So, without much further ado, Natasha, did you want to kick off episode 14 or episode 1 of Season 2 of Diceborn?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, I would like to kick off things. It's been so long.
It has.
So it's going to take me like a moment or two to get going and like to really settle into this. And I'm not going to do a full recap because let's be honest, that would be way too much. But I will point out that Royce is no longer with the crew. The crew.
Do you want to introduce your new character? No, I'm just kidding.
No, last season we did promise everyone that Royce was returning.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Somehow.
Royce is not with the crew. Yeah. Royce is not with the crew. So I don't know when this episode he'll be popping up. This episode might feature him a lot, or he might just sit there the whole time and be silent. We'll
It
see.
just depends on how long it takes the rest of us to get through our scenes.
Yes, because we will start the season off with individual scenes, kind of like we did season 1. My goal is to get you all together a little bit quicker than we did last time. But you might be in small groups rather than all together. So we'll see how it goes. As for who's going first, I think. Where do I want to start?
Wherever makes you happiest.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a different question. It's a bird of a different color. Let's start with Dervish.
Oh no. I was worried. I suddenly got really nervous. And now it's happening. So let's do it. Whoa. So with Dervish.
Get into Dervish's character. So Dervish last season had a lovely little arc where he came to terms with leaving his home. Well,
running away, fleeing.
Running away right after killing his father.
Yep.
And then his sister showed up and challenged him to come and fight her for, their clan.
Yeah, the right to lead the clan.
The right to lead the clan, and for their father's spikes, because she did not feel okay taking those on without having killed Dervish first.
Yes.
However, when they got out to kind of the edge of the
basin.
There we go.
Yeah.
Words.
We're getting there.
Basin. She had been attacking various small towns, and the group decided to take her head on, and Dervish and her got in this really cool cinematic battle.
Yeah.
And Dervish jumped off some buildings and did this like anime sword dive. It was very cool.
It was.
And then the 12-year-old finished her off for him. Well, because Dervish had this whole well, I can't go down this path of like actually killing my sister because that's not who he is.
Yes,
he's been trying to give him a choice.
Yes, and he's trying to be better than he was before. He's trying.
Yeah. So it was a very important moment.
Yes.
And I, as the GM, decided to finish her off because
drama.
Well, she just would have become a future problem had that not been done. And so Dervish was able to wrap up that portion of his story and return back, and also be something of a hero to the town of
Belton.
Yes. Belton. Yeah. And then when you all returned to Ellendale, Dervish and his ex-girlfriend Leah brought back. Yeah, reconciled, got back together because originally, right, Dervish kind of kept things from her because he was a little ashamed and a little bit standoffish, and
he kind of realized
hopefully you can get past that.
Yeah, he kind of realized that that's not people in your life can help you with problems, not just you don't have to hold it all back because you're worried people think you're a monster. You can think,
But yeah, so they're freshly dating. It's about 2 months later, right? So you've been dating again for 2 months. You've moved out on your own. You decide to get your own place rather than staying at the Brass Ladle, which was a big step for Dervish, right? Rather really setting down roots in the city. So why don't you tell me a little bit about Dervish's apartment, where he's living now?
Yes. So Dervish is living in kind of, it would be, I think a townhouse would probably be the best way to describe it. One of these kind of multi-tenancy buildings. It would be a real small, we're talking 2 rooms, where it's the second room's the bathroom, and so it would just be a real small room with a bed on one side, a single bed where metal frame. The other side is there's a desk with a chair that he rarely uses, and then a wardrobe with a bunch of white shirts and grey trousers, because that's what he wears. and then a little window kind of looking out onto the street where he throws his rubbish, because it's kind of that's the kind of the style of the time. And so he's just, it's a real small kind of, he doesn't want to be spending a lot of money on himself. He doesn't feel like he needs anything bigger than this. Just having this space alone is a big step for him. He's he's happy.
Okay, good. And where do you keep your weapons?
So the his father's sword, which he has unwrapped and cleaned at this point. He does have that kind of like, not on display, but he kind of just has it leaning up against the wall. But the kind of the more aggressive sword, we're calling it the evil sword, but it's not really an evil sword. It's just a scary hemalurgic sword. No. That one is kind of in the back of his wardrobe, hidden a little bit from sight.
It hasn't started talking yet.
Yeah, that's technically Carol's sword, right?
Yes, yeah, that one's Carol's sword. He keeps it hidden away. He's a bit like keeping his eyes on it, just in case,
Hidden away behind his clothes.
Where he used to keep his father's sword.
Yes. And then all kind of his other belongings are either just on the floor, kind of in places. His guns, they're shoved under the bed, along with a briefcase that he acquired at the end of last season, which is filled with little hemalurgic spikes of various metals.
Various metals and various sizes.
Yes.
Also, will you give me a description of Dervish himself and kind of his skill set?
Yes. So Dervish is a kind of 5'11", Kolos-blooded gentleman. He has long red hair, which he kind of keeps tied back to kind of keep out of his face. And he's got some scars from fights. He's been in a few scrapes. And he generally goes around just in he likes to keep his clothing nondescript. He doesn't really care, so he's just wears a white shirt, just some trousers.
Today, Dervish has a kind of later shift at the Brass Ladle. But Leah has kind of been on him about his hair and how it's getting, because she loves his hair. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's gorgeous. It's one of his best features.
Yes.
But she has been saying how it's getting like a little bit like scraggly, right? Like he hasn't been taking care of it in the way that he should be caring for one of his best features.
Yes.
And she's like, you could do a lot more with this. Like, just because, we work at the soup kitchen kind of deal, like, you should put some effort in. And does Leah know about like what you've been trying to do in your downtime?
Ooh, okay. I would say yes. So one of the main goals that Dervish has been trying to do is his sister mentioned that his little brother, who is called Sonny, his little brother Sonny, has since he killed his father and their clan kind of separated, and it was a very small clan. It was only like 3 or 4 families, but they kind of went their separate way after Dervish killed his father. And her and Sonny kind of went in with another clan. And so Dervish has kind of been trying to reconnect and find out things like that. But the problem is that the Roughs are kind of they don't really have a good system of like mailing people or, and the clans kind of move around a lot. It's not really like there's an easy way of getting in contact with specific individuals unless you know exactly where they are.
Do you even know which clan he joined?
I don't. I didn't ask because Dervish is a fool. And so yes. And so I would say he's probably been kind of complaining about how difficult this has been to Leah.
What about his other aspirations? And I'm not saying going in depth here. I'm just saying, I don't want you to go in depth. I'm just asking whether or not he has talked to her about it.
I'd say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she has also been hinting that maybe he wants to clean up his appearance if he
wants to achieve his other
in
goal.
that case,
Yes.
right? If he's wanting to be more of a presence.
Okay.
So she's even been like, kind of saving to buy him some like more like new clothes, not necessarily flashy clothes because she doesn't think that suits Dervish, but like, you know, like just better styled, better tailored, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. A nice jacket, you know, because
Mhm.
I imagine normal jackets don't fit Kolos-blooded gentlemen.
No,
so they
they're
would have to be
just a
tailored.
little too tight in the shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Not quite. The seams are not quite right in the right place. And I mean, even in this time frame, right? The clothing production, anything that's, you know, mass produced is not going to fit right at all. You take it to a tailor, and anything that is produced for you, right, is more expensive. Yeah. Anyway, so she's been telling you to, like, you know, grooming is important kind of deal, and it's not that she doesn't, you know, love the way you look or anything like that, but she's trying to help you meet your own goals. And she has gotten you the address of her own like hairstylist. Sounds so modern. But like, you know,
salon,
like,
you know,
yeah, the salon, the cosmetologist, whatever, right?
Yeah.
To go and get your hair properly cut, right?
Yeah.
Rather than her doing it with the kitchen scissors kind of deal.
Yeah.
And so you have an appointment for that scheduled before your shift.
We're opening with Dervish having a haircut. I love it. Excellent. Okay.
Also, by the way, before this, Ben messaged me and he's like, do you need any ideas of what's going to happen? And I'm like, or like for like season, for like the introduction episode. And I'm like, no, I've got this. And secretly I'm like, Dervish is going and getting a haircut.
Okay.
Time to clean up, kid.
Yep. Okay. So Dervish he doesn't believe in haircuts. He's like, okay, we'll see. He's skeptical about how this is going to go. He did get the hair treatment at the thing, but he quite honestly didn't notice the difference. He's very much the kind of guy who doesn't take care of his hair and it's just naturally look great. And so yeah, he's skeptical, but he's like, okay, let's give this a go, shall we?
It has this slight sheen of like grease, like natural grease that just gives it that really like gorgeous shine that everyone thinks is like him taking care of it, but really it's just a little, like just a tiny bit greasy. It's a good oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you leave your apartment, and as Dervish is leaving his apartment, it's kind of atypical for a Kolos-blooded woman, but his landlady, she is this, like, not necessarily short, but probably like mid-height. She's short for a Kolos-blooded woman.
Yes, because Kolos-blooded as they grow older just keep growing. So
yes,
so she's short.
She's short for a Kolos-blooded woman.
Yeah.
And but like it's like anything that she would have raised vertically has just kind of gone out horizontally. So she's very, you know, rotund. And she is coming down the hall, and she walks with kind of like this like swaggery gait that is in part from her weight, but also in part from the fact that she walks with a limp. And she comes up to you and she says, Dervish. And she just kind of takes up the entirety of the hall, making it very difficult for you to get by her without talking to her.
Do we have a name?
You know what? I'm gonna let you name her.
Ooh. Let's call her Patricia.
Patricia. I love it.
Patty.
Patty, yeah.
Oh, no, way too close to Hallie.
Their relationship is at one where he's going to be calling her Patty anytime soon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Patricia,
Yep.
she looks you up and down and goes, Dervish, your rent,
Oh,
your
yes.
rent, it's
Yes.
due.
Yes. How? Morning, Patricia. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. And he goes back into his apartment. Because he's not like, we're a thieving crew. It's not like he doesn't have the money. He's just very disorganized. He doesn't remember when rent is due. And so he's gonna kind of fiddle through like his like dirty pairs of trousers that are on the floor and like random bits of paper to try and find some money that's lying around. And he managed just to scrape together what he thinks is enough. He's not sure. and he'll go out and he's like, Patricia, apologies. I'm sorry, I forgot. Here you go. And he just kind of like awkwardly like holds his hands out with like a pile of money in his hands.
And she just like, she has these massive like coloss hands. And like they're almost bigger than your hands, even though she's like shorter than you. And you just like drop, you know, like the coins and the paper, like all in her hands. And she just, I will count this.
I have no doubts, Patricia.
You can also call me Miss Patty.
Okay. Well, Miss Patty, if there's any missing, you let me know, and I'm gonna kind of give her an awkward bump on the shoulder, just like, you let me know.
You know, you really should keep this better organized.
Yeah, what day do I pay rent again?
The second day of every month.
Second, okay. And what day is it today?
The 4th.
Okay. I will keep that in mind, and I will try to be better next time.
And then she says, I have a show coming up.
Oh.
No.
Oh, I didn't know you performed, Miss Patty.
Yes. It's a one-woman play.
Yeah. And
there's a flyer downstairs.
yeah.
You should come.
I would love to, Miss Patty. I do have somewhere to be, but I will take a look at the flyer downstairs. And when is the show? What day?
It's on the flyer.
Okay, I'll take a look at the flyer, and yeah, I'll see what I can do.
I adore Miss Patty.
It's just great. I love her.
Best character.
And she kind of looks at you just with this expectant like look until you step back into your doorway so that she can continue down the hallway.
Have a good day, Miss Patty. And I kind of just
You tell.
Yeah. I'll head downstairs. I'll take a look at the flyer.
So it is it gives you like a time and a date, and it's just this like one woman play, and there's going to be like operatic singing is kind of the major
This is either going to be absolutely terrible or she's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And you're not sure which.
No. Yeah.
You have no idea. Because it really is like, it's just scrawled, and it, like some of it you can't even read. Like you're not even sure, like BE, like you don't know.
If this were like an actual movie, like we would have to be doing a heist during this show, and it's interspersed like heist stuff to what's
With the
on
singing.
stage.
Yeah.
We'd be doing some kind of job at the show.
Yeah.
Well,
We still might be. We don't know yet.
We don't know
Yeah.
I don't know.
Her one-woman play with operatic singing.
yet. Yeah. It would be a good cover for the noise, operatic singing is loud,
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'll make a note of when, where, and how, what. And yeah, I will head off to my salon appointment.
We are going to cut to Marelyn.
So Marelyn is, a very average-looking woman, kind of average height. Her complexion is like a little bit, like looking at her, maybe not quite sure if she's like just very tanned or if she has like some terrace blood in her. She has dark black hair, but she kind of normally wears in a ponytail down her back. She is a brass savant, so she can soothe people.
She's a lot of
And-
people.
Yes, she can soothe a lot of people at once.
So Marelyn, we've never seen your apartment.
No, we haven't.
Will you tell us a little bit about your apartment?
Okay. So my apartment is from the outside the building seems kind of dingy, not in the best part of town. It's not like fully crime ridden, but it's definitely like the people here are like multi-generation families in one like tiny little apartment, kind of living paycheck to paycheck type vibe. And so, but the apartment itself is pretty well kept. Things are clean, organized. It's one of the bigger apartments probably in this apartment complex, even though it is just her living there. There's probably also on the door like a couple different locks. I think Marelyn has invested in some security because in the past she has kept valuables here, both from her heist and also just pieces of jewelry for disguises as like a noblewoman. And so she takes the security of this place pretty seriously.
Marelyn has also been having a bit of a rodent problem. Just so you're aware.
Okay.
It's like it's common given the locale of where she lives. She likes to avoid it as much as possible, right? And generally she keeps her place very clean. As far as that's concerned, right? Like I don't know how tidy she is or whatever, but like I don't see Marelyn as being a person who is okay with living with rodents running around or that sort of thing. So she puts her food away, all those good practices.
in metal tins.
Marelyn, I think if the crew came to her place, would find that she is almost like surprisingly organized. Things are very much like put away in their place. Like her clothes, like the closet is like organized from like least to like most night's clothing. It's all like everything has a specific spot. Like I think to the extent that I think even if the crew came and like saw like how like clean and organized this place actually is, they might be surprised that she likes things that way.
So she's just despite that.
Yes.
Despite that. And it's not like she has like it's not like she has like a bug problem either. It's mostly just like little mice and those kinds of things, right? Even like a couple lizards here and there that she's not even quite sure how they got in.
Beetles.
Okay.
Beetles. No, that's common in like the desert Southwest here in the States.
Yeah.
These little
lizards.
adorable lizards will they get into your house because they're after the crickets.
Yeah, or scorpions or stuff like those things. Common in
My dad's house never had a scorpion problem, but we would find the lizards in the house and they were so cute.
they are very cute. But they are a problem. They're kind of it's more obnoxious than anything.
Yeah.
And you are at home and it's rather early in the morning.
Mhm.
And there's a knock on the door.
I go and there's like a little like peephole or something that I let through before I open it.
So you look out the peephole.
Yeah.
And like you don't see anything at first. And then you look down and then you see like the top of this like mousy brown hair.
It's Ghost, I assume.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And for our viewers, Chester is, Ghost. Ghost's name is Chester. His real name is Chester, but he goes by Ghost. He requires or requests that everyone call him Ghost. And he has kind of, like brownish red hair, like mostly brown, but with like a tinge of auburn. And he's about somewhere between 10 and 12. You guys aren't really sure. You've never asked him. And he's never told you. But you just put him in that preteen range.
Yeah.
Marelyn's the one that's spoken to his parents, so that's on her as far as I'm concerned.
I will open the door and let him in. Say, I don't remember giving you my address as I let him in.
I mean, did you forget who my dad is?
I don't remember the constables having this address either. I don't think it's on any official records.
No. Well, I mean, the address is.
Yeah.
Whether or not you used a name for this address that is actually your name, I mean, that's a different story. And then you notice that he's carrying a box. And you notice that the box has air holes popped in it.
What's in the box, Ghost?
Well, this building has a mouse problem.
Does?
So I brought you this.
A Cantra.
They're all kind of now.
Every animal's
I just look down at the box, look back up into Ghost's eyes, and raise a single eyebrow without saying a word.
And he just walks in, and then he puts the box, like, he looks around and then puts the box, like on a chair. And then he opens it up and reaches in, and he pulls out this tiny, like mostly black, but kind of like splotchy with brown in certain spots kitten.
Yes.
And then he just puts it on the floor.
So many things I want to say. I just don't know what to say first.
I'd say that.
And the kitten just looked like it's like...
Where did you get that kitten, Ghost?
Well, I found it.
Found it where?
In the street?
And you know this apartment doesn't allow pets, right?
You have mice.
Mice aren't pets.
The difference between pets and pest.
Well, you're not very good at following rules anyway.
And you should know that it's not good to bring people living things as a gift without asking them first if they want one.
Okay, what if it's my cat?
So does that mean you're going to take care of it?
Then I would have to come over here more.
What do your parents think about getting a pet for your house?
They won't let me have a cat.
So if I went and asked your mom, would she tell me that you tried to bring that cat to your house and they said no?
They'll tell you that I've tried to bring other cats and frogs and a dog at one point, and it's just never gone very well.
Mm-hmm.
He totally took that kitten to the wrong crew member.
I love that Marelyn consistently has boss fights against small children. It's my favorite aspect of Diceborn.
Just trying to think if I can. What's the best way? I feel like I'm either taking care of a kitten or having ghosts at my house constantly, or both at the end of this conversation. But I don't want to give in without a fight.
And then he says, I could give it to someone else.
Hmm. And who are you thinking of giving it to?
Well, you were my first choice.
Who's your second?
And then he sits there for a very long time thinking.
Just a quick aside, Grace, do you remember knowing Hallie's personal secret from the first season? Because you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know 100% that Hallie would scoop up this kitten and adore it forever.
But your
But-
personal secret, Hallie's a cat person.
I mean, yeah, essentially, she goes completely goofy for cats. And that's part of her Marshmallow Center secret.
Yeah.
Well, I could give it to... I don't really want to give it to anyone else.
And why not?
Well, I think Dervish might forget about it.
Yep.
Okay.
Hallie's house isn't hers. So, yes, it is. He doesn't think about it as hers.
Which is funny because it's like she moved
Yeah.
her parents in with her. He just has no idea.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand
Like
that dynamic.
In Ghost Minds,
Yes.
people who live with their parents want to leave.
What?
I said in Ghost Minds, like people who live with their parents want to leave. And
Well, it's people who live with their parents live with their parents,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Mm.
he's still a kid,
Yeah.
Doesn't understand.
right?
Hmm.
And then he says, and Luka, I don't think Luka has time for a cat. I think it could teach him some things. My parents said that taking care of animals can teach you lessons. But I think that he's learning other lessons right now with his job and with other things. So maybe, I mean, and then he goes quiet. And he goes quiet for a really long time. Yeah, but I could try. And you see that he's like been like picking up on these like tiny little manipulation tactics.
Yeah, but I know manipulation.
Yeah, clearly. But he's clearly trying them out on you.
Yeah.
Curious. Do you not want a kitten? And then he picks the cat off the floor and like holds it up. And it's got like these tiny, like almost like blue, sad little kitten eyes.
Well,
that are a little bit too big for its head.
You said that you don't think Luka has enough time for a cat, but I'm busy too, and I'm going out on jobs, and I'm not necessarily the best person to leave a cat with, because what if I'm gone for a long time and no one else really knows where I live to take care of the cat?
I know where you live. You could give me a key. This kid.
Swinging big.
Mhm,
Swinging big.
mhm.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I won't take the cat, but if you're worried about Hallie's not being her house and her parents not allowing the cat, I will go with you to try to convince them if you want me to.
Okay. And then he picks the kitten back up and puts it back in the box. And then you notice him kind of do this little like pat on the head and then closes the box back up and he's like, "Can we go now?"
How early is it?
6 a.m. Crack of dawn.
It's actually probably like 5 a.m. Like 5:30. Like the sun is barely up.
Nobody in that apartment is awake yet.
Yeah.
Why he's out running around with a kitten, we don't know.
We were all kids once.
Yeah.
The sun's up, you're up,
I was not that child.
Somebody's awake, so I'm awake.
Well, it's a little bit early, and I think, people are more likely to say yes to things if they get lots of sleep and aren't tired. So we need to make sure that they have plenty of time to wake up on their own and be well rested before we go talk to them.
All right. It's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Something you need to keep in mind. If you go talk to someone when they're already in a bad mood, they're more likely to say no to you.
That is good
So-
advice.
He sits in the chair with the box on his lap. And he says, "So what do you want to do until then?"
I'm going to kind of sigh and say reluctantly, what does the cat like to eat? Kind of resigned. I'm not keeping it, but if we're here, I might as well feed it. If he got it off the streets,
Do you have any eggs?
probably.
I think it'd eat eggs.
I will start making a large pan of scrambled eggs and give some to the cat and give some to Ghost.
And Ghost clearly also wanted eggs.
Yeah.
And this is part of why he was suggesting eggs. And he feeds the cat little bits with his fingers. And the cat has one of those little tiny scraggly tails that kind of just points in a strange direction when it hunkers over the scrambled egg bits and picks at it in.
And I make sure to add veggies to Ghost's portion of the eggs. There's some I don't know, onion and green pepper mixed in.
He contemplates not eating it. You can see the gears turning. But then he does without saying anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Luka.
So I found out
Hello.
Luka's job.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So Luka has to be up bright and early. So it is morning. You're getting up, getting ready for the day, getting ready for your job. Tell me about your job. What is he wearing to his job?
What is he wearing to his job? That's a good question. I'm going to say in the last couple months, Luka has changed his wardrobe a bit. Coming back to Elendel, he got up to date on some new fashions. He probably took a trip out to Bilming at some point to check out a little boutique there where his cousin works. Apparently, according to the Lost Metal, there's a Illyrial-owned boutique in Bilming. So,
and you stored that away forever as knowledge that.
Oh, if the name Illyrial comes up in a book,
yeah,
I collect it like a greedy little goblin and put it in my, put it up in my thing. Luka, I'd say, is going for a more professional look than he used to. A little more conservative in some ways, but he compensates for that with accessories. So he's a little more like accessorized than before. Kind of so that he's still expressing himself with his fashion, but the accessories are more easily removed than changing his whole outfit. So if he needed to, he could, take off the dangly earring instead of the stud, or, take off a couple brooches or something and blend in a little more. So he's, doing his hair, straightening his clothes, haphazardly taking a sip of tea that he realizes cold and might be yesterday's tea, and kind of has like a piece of toast that's like half buttered, that he takes like a couple bites out of, but he's running late, so
yeah.
And your grandmother has actually gifted you several pieces of jewelry that are like family heirlooms, to complement your wardrobe. Many of them are like rings from your late grandfather and those sorts of things.
Yeah, Luka wears those, yeah.
But definitely doting on you and putting her own mark on you, especially in a fashion sense, which she knows you enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say Luka's apartment is also like a little less organized than when Royce lives there. And his new roommate isn't there much. So he's mostly just left to his own devices. There's probably a couple like dead plants that he's forgotten about and can't keep alive. Good choice, Ghost. Do not bring the cat to Luka. And yeah.
Okay. And your job. Tell me about that.
Yeah. I guess I'll also just say Luka is a kind of noble socialite type. He's young and he's an electrum misting, but that doesn't come up too often, sometimes more than others. His job, though, Luka has secured a bit of a position working with the Senate as kind of an aide / gopher / assistant. Kind of similar to his intern role he was playing with the crew last season. So he's still an intern, but is multitasking. He's on his way to the House of Proceedings. Is that where the Senate meets?
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
He's on his way and he has like kind of a list of errands, like fetch things to grab for
Like on the way there.
On the way there. Yeah. So he's checking his list and trying to map his route and trying not to get lost. And yeah, he's a sophisticated working man now.
Sophisticated working man. And surprisingly, everyone that interacts with Luka, right, kind of assumes that Luka's grandmother got him this job. But that's actually not the case, right? And Luka, do you correct people on this when they assume that? Or do you let them assume that your grandmother has been, pulling her strings for you?
I think I let them assume that depending general public, I let them assume my grandma got the job for me. But, if it comes up with like a colleague or like someone more on my level, or like if it would serve Luka in the moment, he might correct that misunderstanding. But otherwise, he just kind of lets it be.
Okay. So Luka is indeed running late. And he stops off at a few places, like a bakery where one of the senators, is that technically the correct term? One of the senators has a pastry that they absolutely adore, and that's, where he'll pick it up for her. And that's really, he is, let's give her a name.
The senator he works for?
Yeah.
Anything but Patricia.
Yeah, not Patricia. Let's see. I just came up with so many names for so many NPCs. Let's go with she's Senator Daphne Lunarche.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Senator Daphne Lunarche, you pick up her pastry, you pick up a few other pastries as well, because she is having a meeting, and so those will be laid out, but she does have a specific very sharp cheese Danish that she really loves, and it has a tart fruit compote that goes with it. Anyway, but you pick that up among the other pastries, and get to the office and brew some tea and all of that stuff and have everything ready and lay out the agendas. And Daphne Lunarche comes in, and she is this very sharply dressed blonde woman, and she is obviously kind of in a hurry and just very on it this morning. And she looks to you and she says, "Oh, good." She checks her, timepiece and says, "Oh, good. You're only 5 minutes late this time. That is an improvement. Very good. Keep that going. And if you haven't had time to eat, grab one of the pastries that I had you pick up and take some of the tea. I do need you to go to the bookstore, and I need you to pick something up for me. There's actually a signing today from one of my kids' favorite authors. I really don't think that they should be reading these books. What were they called again? There's some ridiculous mystery novels. They shouldn't be worrying themselves with such things. I really wish they would focus on better endeavors. Let's see." And she pulls out some notes and flips through them. And then she says, Oh yes, Alara Kelson. The Marpool Mystery Series. There's a new book coming out. And she's going to be there for a signing. And I need you to go pick that up for me. Get it signed.
Yes, of course, Senator. Absolutely. And if you ever, need me to have a word with your lovely children about their reading taste, try to steer them in a better direction. I like to think of myself as quite good with children. So happy to help in any way I can. But for now, the books it is. I will see that they are acquired and swiftly delivered to where they need to go with all the appropriate signatures, being one signature, the signature of the author. I'll make sure it's not graffitied by anyone else, of course.
Yes. And what books do you read?
I read, here and there, a variety of books.
Definitely.
And the newspaper, current events.
If Luka and Hallie have the same taste in trashy romance novels, I will find that hilarious.
All right. Then newspapers. Those aren't books.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm saying.
I don't have the. Anyway.
Yeah, you don't have time. Sorry for bothering you. Absolutely. I'll get this.
Yes, just the book signed.
Mhm.
Also, no, that's too much. Just the book.
No, I can help with anything. I can handle it. You can trust me, Senator. If there's anything else, anything I can take off your load, please just let me know.
Are you certain?
Yes, absolutely.
I want you to, let's see. I want you to roll me something.
I could hear the joy in the Natasha voice seeping through.
Really?
This is fun because this is the first roll session.
Yes.
And
First roll of the season.
episode 1 of season and episode 1 of season 2.
Matt, so this is a lot of responsibility.
Yes. the first episode of season 2, Luke, or first episode of season 1, Luka didn't roll at all.
Oh,
so this is a fun reversal.
I want you to roll me. It's not resources. What's the other one?
Influence.
Influence. Yeah, the political pool.
Yeah.
Okay. Influence.
And it's going to be an influence of 2. It's not super difficult.
Okay.
It's going to be more difficult to accomplish.
Sure how this works, but I did buy Senator's Aid as a trait.
So you can add 1. Yeah.
Okay. So Luka has an influence of 6. And +1 is 7 dice, and it's difficulty 2.
Got this.
Yeah. Nailed it.
That is a 5.
Level
Hell
5.
yeah.
Very nice. Okay. Fine. So there's a rumor that she has already written the next 2 novels.
God. Already written next 2. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So there's a rumor that she's already written the next 2 novels. If I could get the advanced copies of her manuscripts, that would be wonderful. It would make a fantastic gift for my kids. Anyway, I have no expectations on this.
Yes.
But if you could do it, that would be lovely. No pressure.
Absolutely. I'm going to, turn on the old Luka Ilariel charm with Miss Kelson, and we'll see what happens. But I'm on the task, like a hound on the hunt, and I will not stop until the objective
You should also
is
work on maybe talking a little bit less too. Just
talk
time.
a little.
Time is the essence.
The time, right? Time.
Mm-hmm. Time.
Time is it's
It's that
flying,
thing.
as they say. Well, good luck with your meeting, Senator.
Thank
I'm
you.
off.
Yes. Yes. Have a wonderful day. You'll want to get there as quickly as possible. I'm sure the line is already forming. I heard that she's quite popular and that the line starts early in the morning.
Excellent. Excellent.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
And she like trots off to go to her meeting.
Okay.
Swishing.
Yeah. Luka like turns to go. He turns back, looks at the pastries because he didn't finish his toast at home. But then he's like, no, I'm in a rush. And then he like leaves again. Probably wastes more time debating whether or not to take a pastry than he would have saved if he had just grabbed one. But we're moving.
Perfect.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is Daphne Lunarch played by Meryl Streep in the movie?
No. I'm picturing, but that is where the concept came from.
I was
Absolutely.
getting the
I'm like-
Devil Wears
I'm like,
Prada
shit,
vibes.
Devil
less-
Wears Prada.
She's
and I
less
was like-
cruel.
Yes.
She's less cruel. She's more just
Yeah.
like
She's
high
easy.
political sassy. If anything, she's like a. I don't want to say this because it'll give the wrong impression because it'll make her ditzy. But like Elle Woods.
Like a competent Elwood. Sorry.
Like a
Because
Yeah,
Elwood's
Elwood's
very good.
Right,
Sorry,
Elle
Elwood's
Woods
is
very
competent. Sorry.
incompetent.
And but even keel less bubbly.
Yeah, less
Thing.
like
Yeah.
yeah, like less right. It's very like just
Yeah.
you know, like Elle Woods when she's very like far along in her career, like you know, settled with more like kids and you
Yeah.
know all that.
Elwood's in the reboot. Years
Yeah,
later.
yeah. When her daughter is you know like
He's the one trying
Yeah.
to go through law school.
Preparing-
and-
yeah, exactly. mhm.
I think it's funny that both seasons start with Luka being told by a powerful woman to go like get an object for them. And I'm like, I wonder how it'll turn out this time for him.
Can't wait for the big
Specifically
book
like a
signing heist.
literary object.
Yeah.
This should be a much lower difficulty get.
Don't jinx it, Rosemary.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm sure Natasha's already put her all of her evil plans into motion.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I already know what evil plans have been put into motion.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
So speaking of which,
Mhm.
bookstore line.
Yeah.
I have a question. Question for Royce.
Yeah.
How does Royce feel about assigning from
His favorite author.
his favorite author?
And for a book in his favorite series.
hmm
Yeah, something tells me he's there.
Like, is he there like at 6 o'clock in the morning? Like waiting in line? Is he there like
When does the line
later
open?
on? When does what?
When does the line open?
The line, so the bookstore itself, right, is probably going to open like 11 a.m. Right? It's one of those smaller town, whatever. But she is a popular author
He is.
and she writes very good, not like trashy novels, right? But like high intrigue, good plot twists, like, and people are going to want to be there to make sure that at the very least they get their books signed.
I love how you've basically just put a female avatar of Brandon Sanderson into this game. Rumored to have already written the next 2 books.
Yep.
You're welcome. I have Easter eggs. It's fine.
Yeah, it's great.
He would have gotten there for about the same time he would usually get to work.
Okay.
So it's like he didn't get up any extra early, but like he went directly there.
He took the day off of work for this.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
I totally expected that. Like, I just didn't know if he was going to be there, like, trying to be the first in line, or if he was going to be there, like, camping out the night before, or if he was going to be there trying to be more cautious because of things that have transpired.
He wouldn't camp out the night before. Like, so, like, you'd probably get there around 9-ish, probably.
Okay.
But 8:30. 8:30.
Okay. So yeah. So Luka, when you arrive, there is a small line ahead of you. There are clearly a couple of people who have camped out the night before who are at like the very front of the line. And they are obviously die-hard fans of this series. And you can tell this by the fact that they have actually painted like on their skin this like kind of to try to make it look like iridescent, like almost gemstone like.
Mm-hmm.
To mimic like the true body of a Khandra,
That's
right?
cool.
And like to like cosplay like one of their favorite characters from this
That's
novel,
amazing.
right?
Adrian cosplays is great.
They're obviously very excited, and there's like this little chatter throughout the line, and you go and stand there. Royce is not there yet,
Okay.
because this is like 7:38 in the morning.
Okay. So it's a short line. Okay. Luka is gonna go up as he's going towards his place in line. He's gonna like walk to the door first and then like go down the line. And at someone near the front, he's gonna pause and say, "I love your costume. That is fantastic. Very interesting. You must have worked really hard on it."
So Luka, I need a spirits roll
Okay.
of 4, and I need a charm roll of 1.
So for spirits, can I add anything?
What would you be wanting to add?
I'm trying to think what might apply to the situation. Yeah, I don't know. I won't
Just-
add anything. For the charm, though, I would like to add my inviting smile.
That's good.
So spirits 4 first. Luka has a spirits of 3. So
Oh, just.
and I have no nudges.
Nope.
So that's
That's
that.
a fail.
But then the charm of 1, I have 6 dice, so that's a little better. So close.
There you go.
So
2 and 2 nudges.
this person, he immediately is like, "Oh my goodness, thank you. I worked so hard on it. Like I went to so many different places to get the pigment just right. I had to consult with like 5 different like cosmetologists. It was just an entire headache, but it's perfect, and I'm so excited. So thank you."
Absolutely. The hard work has completely paid off. And, you know, obviously I didn't know the story behind it, but the dedication is clear from the final product.
Who's your favorite character?
Well, that's a funny thing. He kind of lowers his voice, like kind of adopting a conspirational tone. Like he wants to kind of not lose this person's place in line, but kind of talk to him one-on-one. And you'll say, I actually haven't had the pleasure of reading Miss Kelson's work. And I'm hoping to change that. However, my it's a little embarrassing, but my crush is the biggest fan. And I'm trying to impress them by becoming more, well-read and more, and to be able to, get them a signed copy. But I just want to make sure I don't look foolish. And you seem to know, I'm guessing you know everything there is to know about these books. You seem like you know your stuff. So it seemed like you might be the perfect person to kind of give me the lowdown, so to speak, on this series. No spoilers, of course, because I do want to read them myself.
Of course. And he chuckles and he says, unless you unless you burn, unless you're like a copper fairing or something, like you just I wouldn't spoil anything. There's just no
Yes.
And he says it's nice of you though to want to read the books for your person. That's nice of you, and he at your conspiratorial tone, he kind of does this weird thing where like his foot's still in line, but he's like almost doing the splits to like be out of line so that he can like talk to you a little bit off to the side.
Yeah. Okay. And we don't need to like do the whole conversation unless you want to, but Luka is going to try to get like the bullet points for like what are these books about, but he's also going to try to mine for some information about the author. Like what is her like reputation with her fans, like what's I
love that Luka just doesn't remember that this is Royce's favorite author.
I like how you're assuming he doesn't remember.
I mean, he just seems to not know anything.
I mean, that tracks.
Yeah.
when he asked you your favorite character, I was like, Luka could probably roll to see if like why Royce mentioned as his favorite character.
Luka doesn't remember that. Luka probably knows this is Royce's favorite, but it's like my mom knows that Brandon Sanderson is one of my favorite authors, but that's where her knowledge of Brandon Sanderson ends. Like, I feel like that's...
Yeah. Just like their entire time living together, Luka never picked up one of the books out of curiosity.
Absolutely not.
Brilliant. Yeah, so this fellow, his name is...
Beef Wellington.
What?
Beef Wellington.
I was gonna say
Welling Beefton.
I don't know why you guys are focused on beef, because ham is a canonical name in...
we'll go with Ericum.
Ericum. Okay. Yeah, Luka will just try with his new friend to get some of the deets on this author, if possible.
Yeah, so he goes through and outlines for you quite well, actually, kind of the details and the like not major plot points, right? Because he doesn't spoil anything for you, but gives you like the basics. And he also kind of leans in conspiratorially and says, I've heard that she has the next 3 books written.
The next 3 now.
Next 3 books. You don't say. How would you have? She must be a really industrious writer.
Prolific is the word.
Incredible.
Some
just
people,
doing the math.
Some people say that she's actually multiple writers and that she is just the face of the operation at this point. But there's too much going on for that to be possible.
Of course. Well, with this, expansive, interconnected universe she's developed.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how.
And how the mysteries carry from, one book to another. And how it's fascinating, like the A plot versus the B plot versus the C plot, and he begins to go into all these literary
So Luka will say, it's incredible how connected, you are. And I think it would really impress this friend of mine if I kind of seem to know what I was talking. How do you stay so in the know with what's going on with even unpublished books? That's very impressive.
There's a community broadsheet.
Yes. Excellent. Where would one acquire one of these community broadsheets?
Oh, you'd have to come to our next meeting.
Which would be?
And he turns to one of his friends and he says, when is the next meeting again? And they give you a time and date that's about 3-4 days.
Okay.
We're gonna actually try and get Illyria Kelson to come to our next meeting because it's close enough, and she's supposed to still be in town during that time. Otherwise, we actually don't know where she lives.
Yeah.
But she's supposed to be still in town during that time.
Yes, of course. And what was the broadsheet called? Just in case I, see one floating around elsewhere.
It is the Marpool Times.
Marpool Times. Excellent. Well,
it's actually kind of funny because there's a broadsheet in the novel series that's called the Marpool Times based on the town. It's great.
That's so clever. See, this is why I love, fan communities, the ingenuity, the creativity. It's so fantastic. Well, you've been you've provided an excellent service to me today, and I'm really looking forward to getting into the book and knowing which one to start with, because honestly, that was something I was wondering about. But I think I have
you actually do have to start with the 4th, because technically the 4th came first, even though the first is.
Save the publication order. The prequels. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But okay. Thank you. So much.
Yeah. You'll want to go get in line though. More people are going to start showing up. The not true fans. They're going to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks. This is such a great tip, by the way. Excellent. Thank you. And
Lyra Kelsey will have none of this exclusionary practices.
Yeah. Could Luka try? How long until the signing starts?
So by this point, It's been about an hour, so it's getting towards 9 o'clock. So it's about 2 more hours till the signing.
2 more hours.
So if it's 9, then
It's about time for Royce to be showing up. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Luca's actually going to be trying to circle around the bookshop to see if there's a back door. But before he does that, he will walk down the line. And so I'm assuming we'll see Royce at some point if enough time has passed.
So you walk down the line. Royce is actually not there yet.
Okay.
For whatever reason. You walk around and you're looking for a back door. I want you to roll me a spirits roll of 2 and a wits roll of 1.
Okay, spirits 2. I have an improviser trait. I'm not sure if I could add that to
Add
my
that.
spirits.
You can add that to both, actually.
Oh, okay, excellent. So then I can bump my spirits to 4. Dice. A 0.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I
Bank
have
up the
4
nudges.
nudges. Yeah, but that's not enough to. Okay. Spirits is hard. And then wits plus my trait is 5 dice. Oh, sorry. How much was the?
I think that one, she said 1.
She said it was a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do
So
have
I
enough
now-
nudges to pass that.
Yeah, I have 6, so I will spend 3 to pass.
Okay. So the back door is slightly ajar.
Oh.
Okay. Luka will look both ways to see if anyone's watching and will slip through the back door. And also kind of carefully, like as he's looking through, he'll kind of be looking around, and if he sees anyone, he'll be like, hello. But if he doesn't see anyone, he'll keep quiet.
Roll me a physique of 3.
Oh boy.
3. Luka has invested in a sleight of hand trait. Can he add that?
No.
Okay. So it's 2 dice.
You're trying to see someone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah, Luka doesn't see anyone. And he slips in the back door. And there is a lovely woman arranging all these copies of the newest book of the Marpool mystery series on a table. She is the proprietor of this establishment. She's getting everything ready, and she looks up and she goes, "Oh, sorry, you're not supposed to be in here yet."
yes. Sorry. You might have been focused. I did knock, and the door was slightly ajar. I'm actually not here for the book signing per se. Can you remind me? What's Ghost's dad's name?
Who's dad?
Ghost's
Ghost.
dad's name?
I have it.
Oh, Herschel Ulfen,
Herschel.
constable.
Constable.
Yeah,
What was the last name?
Ulfen.
Ulfen. Okay. I'm actually this is a little awkward, and I hope you'll keep it quiet but discreet. I'm a messenger, and I've been sent from Constable Ulfen's office. They've received an anonymous tip about a potential threat about a Miss and he flips open the notes he took from his boss, Miss Kelsey.
Mhm.
Kelsey's apparently there's this really obsessed fan community, and they have this paper called the Marpool Times, and most of them are just fine, lovely people, but there's an extremist
Look,
subset.
okay, we've technically been already warned about that. But and we did, look over. The constables came by yesterday to secure the perimeter and to make sure everything was ready and prepared. And they will, of course, be showing up before the signing. We are aware of the threat.
Okay.
Was there more?
Well, I think it was just he wanted to reassure Miss Kelsey personally that everything was taken care of and she had nothing to worry about. Between you and me, I think. To be honest, I'm struggling a bit with this job. And it would be just a win if I could go back and say I delivered the message personally, made sure she knew that everything was taken care of. It would be a real big favor.
Roll me charm.
Okay.
Luka's just being an agent of chaos for pure giggles at this point.
Why we love him.
His personality quirk endearing, can he add?
Sure.
Okay.
This is a challenge of 3, by the way.
Okay, challenge of 3.
Yes.
3.
That's a 3.
Excellent. She looks at you and she says, well, do you have any identification? I don't want to just, if there are threats, which I do know there are threats, not from the fan group, actually, though, they are a little odd every now and then. But I do want to make sure that you're not who we're supposed to be.
Yes.
Wary of.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Luka will start fiddling in his jacket and pulling out a lot of different things. He's gonna pull out. He's gonna be like, do you mind? And just at a corner of the table on top of one of the books, he pulls out a receipt and some other things. He's kind of making a show of going through all his pockets. And then he freezes and is like, hey, I must have left it at the precinct. And I know this makes me look very suspicious, but this is exactly the kind of thing why I'm on thin ice. But I don't know. Is there something else I could say? I know people at the office. I'm not sure if you're familiar with anyone there. Is there someone you spoke to?
Well,
I could.
How about this?
You could sit in on the conversation.
Oh
if
no!
I deliver the
There's
message.
a threat. I don't want to be. She begins to think, and then she says, "The constables will be arriving shortly. If they can establish that you work with them, I will gladly give you the address where she is staying."
Oh, she's not here yet.
No.
Well, I could perhaps just wait around for her to arrive and speak with her quickly before everyone else comes in. That would be fine. But
No, that's fine. You can go sit over there. There's a lounging chair.
Or how long will she be? Would it be faster for me to go to her residence, or?
Well, she's She checks a timepiece and she says she is scheduled to show up here around 9:30. The constables are scheduled to show up here any minute now. So you're welcome to wait.
I will wait then. Since I'm going to be waiting, he fishes for some money. Could I actually purchase a copy of this and, start reading?
Oh, yes. She just exchanges you a copy for the money and goes over to the drawer and puts it away.
How many copies did my boss want? Did she want one or two?
She just wants one.
She wants one? Okay. So he'll buy the copy and sit down by the door and wait.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Hallie. I get a turn. Hallie, how early are you arriving? That's a good question. Come on. I mean, she gets up in the morning and she's like, am I going to do this thing or am I not? Am I going to do this thing or am I not? Yeah, I need to see that he's okay. And he'll probably be there. So yeah, she's gonna do the thing. She's feeling really weird about it, but she's gonna do the thing. And I don't know that she really feels like she needs to be there super early because it's not like she is going to be getting into the signing line. She's just there to lay eyeballs on Royce and make sure that he's in one piece.
Okay.
So, I mean, she'll probably leave to get there a little early. She's like, maybe if he's in the line, it'll be easy and then just, in, out, it's done. But. Okay. So, timing wise, are you showing up around, shoot for, maybe shoot for 10? 10. Okay, 10. So then we'll start with Royce then. So much fun. We'll start with Royce then, because
Yeah.
Royce, this is the signing for your very favorite author. She is very prolific, and you love the fact that she is very prolific. In fact, you'll write the memories of the novels so that you can then go back and reread the books fresh. But you found that as the series go on, right, they'll reference back to previous books or mysteries, even plot threads that she's left dangling for, several books will be wrapped up again. So you found that more and more you have to remember, several books before you can reread or read the next one and then have past plot threads wrapped up. But you arrive the morning of this signing. It's a very typical signing morning, right? There are a few fans who have showed up very early or, even the night before. But you're a little bit more accustomed to, how these things go. You've been to probably a few now. And that getting here at the beginning of your workday is a pretty safe bet. And so you arrive. And as you're arriving, a couple constables are showing up, right? They tend to get there just, a couple hours to make sure that, really there's never been a security issue before. But every once in a while, a fan gets out of hand or something to that effect. And that needs to be handled. But yeah, they do have 2 constables on hand. It's not a big deal. But You arrive, you get in line. Tell me what you look like.
Okay. So Royce is a mid-20s young man, noble heritage, kind of like light brown hair, shortish, pushed back, slender. He's wearing kind of standard bankers, like a standard banker suit, fairly nondescript, but well put together.
Okay. And what is Royce's skill set?
Royce is a Tinai archivist, and he is quite skilled with the acquisition of information.
Okay.
When it comes to his own damn memories.
He's skilled at acquiring it, not keeping it.
Or
He
sharing.
tends to just like throw that away. Sometimes just straight out the window.
Yeah. Don't care about sharing, don't care about keeping. I'm just all about the acquisition.
Acquisition, yeah.
Need to get rid of the old so I can keep getting new information in. Obviously.
Yeah. Can't hold everything. That's just not the way this works. So as you're standing in line, I would like you to make a spirits roll of 4.
Okay. 4. I don't think I can add anything for this. But I have 7 dice, so.
Oh man.
I got 2 nudges.
That's
you
a
got
fat
a-
nothing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And 2 sixes.
Straight.
Big whole lot of nothing.
I'd also like you to roll me a physique roll of 2.
Is this to see someone?
Yes.
Can I add information acquisition to this?
No.
Okay. You said 1? Okay. So my big old 2 dice. I got 1 nudge and I'm going to
Solid.
spend it, so I
Yeah.
pass.
Yes.
I said
'Cause I got. Oh, you said 2? Ugh. Okay. Then I fail and spend no nudges.
Okay. So you're standing in line, and ahead of you is a quiet young woman, and she is holding a book and reading and just leaning up against the window of the shop. And you notice that in the margins of her book
Mhm.
are all of these tiny notes. And some of them even have reference numbers.
I don't recognize this young woman.
No. She's definitely Terrace. She's small, just very warm complexion, longer dark hair in braids. Not very not super noticeable, but when you notice her she is pretty. Definitely wallflower kind of vibes.
Can I see the title of the book? At the top of sometimes they're at the top of a page of, at least in our books.
No.
Okay. And we're just standing in line. Royce would probably start small. Oh, I know if she's reading, he wouldn't disturb her.
As readers, we know that that's
Yeah.
not what you do. Yeah.
And that might be her intention.
Mhm.
Okay. So how is Royce passing the time? He's going to be there for another 2 hours, right? Potentially.
He's
before
people
the doors
watching.
open.
He's absolutely people watching.
Roll me a physique roll of 1 and a wits roll of 3.
Seek roll 1.
Hey.
I got 2 twos. And you said a wits roll of what?
3.
3. Okay. Wits. I have 5. And I have 5s.
Interesting.
Hey.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah. So as you're people watching, for the most part, like the people that are in line are either people that you've seen many a time, right? They're people that often come to the book signings. You're like vaguely aware of the like little fan group with their marble times. And, you might have even gone to one of their meetings at one time. But I don't know if that's Royce's thing. So
I don't think
maybe.
it is.
But like, it strikes me as something, if he did go, he would have been immediately turned off by it. And then, there's people that he sees regularly. There's a couple like new people, new fans. Obviously, they're just like to get one book signed, like they're new and, here for the experience of getting their book signed. Some people are, kind of showing up, finding that the shop is open at a different hour than it normally is, being a little bit grumpy about that and then leaving. Kind of your regular book signing stuff. And then as you look around,
I just have a quick question. Is this the same bookstore as I was in at the beginning of season 1, or is this a different bookstore?
This is the same.
Okay.
It is a used bookstore. However, she has kind of also started selling a lot more new books as well.
Okay.
Yeah. As you look around, right, this is a shop that's on a quieter sort of street, but there's plenty of like action. Does that make sense? Like, there's a vendor selling, like food. Especially there's even like a couple like little street carts that have been pulled up, having noticed people here for the book signing, and they're like selling food. And then there are the regular shops, like a small jeweler's and a small like salon and a clothier's, all sorts of like little things. And as you're people watching, right, the constables are kind of, meandering around. They're also seeming to be watching. They seem to like catch eye of you, exchange a glance with each other, and then continue on their way. And then you also see off to one side, sitting kind of like in an alleyway, is kind of this really scruffy looking dog.
Oh man.
You don't remember?
I don't remember. Did I warn myself?
Nope. I have the letter.
You have the letter? Okay.
And you don't even know it's the same dog.
I don't. Even
no one else even knows it's the same dog because they don't see it.
No one else saw it.
See, it was necessary to promote drama in the show.
Who even knows if that's what I was having them roll for?
Who knows? Yeah.
Okay. You're standing there. I feel like it's time to return back to Dervish.
Yeah. I wonder where Dervish is right now.
Dervish is sitting in a salon chair.
Yep.
Across the street from a very noisy bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And he is having his hair like fluffed and looked at by a tall terrace woman. Her hair is like very long and done in long dark braids, but it like keeps her hair out of her face because it is braided, and her makeup is absolutely like impeccable, like perfect precision. If you did not know any better, which you probably don't, you would have said it was tattooed on. Like, it is perfect.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of fluffing your hair, and she goes, "So how long has it been since you had your hair cut?"
Like, had someone cut it for me. Nev, like, my mom used to cut it for me when I was a kid.
Okay, what about just cut in general? And she's, like looking at you through the mirror and like, just feeling the ends of it.
I sometimes trim like the front bits, but I haven't done that in a little while,
Okay. And is this your natural color?
Yes. Why?
Oh, well, it's spectacular.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And do you want to keep the length? Are we just going for a trim? Are you wanting to shorten it up? What are you hoping for?
I've been told it's getting messy. And I don't really see it myself, so I'm not quite sure. So if you could just want to like tidy up the ends, and he like holds up a very clear like split end, like a horrendous split end, and he's like, yeah, if you could just, I don't know, just tidy it up a little bit, and just make it look nicer.
Okay, just so you know, I will have to take off some length in order to do that. It won't be too much, but it will be noticeable. And when because you haven't had a haircut in a long time, when you run your hands through your hair, it's going to feel like a more abrupt end. But if you keep your hair back, it probably won't bother you too much until it like starts to be more organic again.
Yeah, as long as I can still like tie it up,
Oh, absolutely. We can keep it to that length.
Excellent.
Yeah,
okay.
Certainly.
Sure.
And she takes you back and like leans you over a basin and starts, like washing your hair and like talking to you and, like asks you, if you've like lived in the city your entire life and, if you're dating anyone and, all of those kinds of questions, as she's like washing your hair, and the water is like this perfect temperature and you're not even sure how she did that, and like her nails just feel like amazing on your scalp, like they're just perfect.
Okay.
Also, you're not sure why, like when you do that to your own head, it doesn't quite have the same effect.
Yeah. He would have started off very like one word answers, like yeah and no, but then like as things went on and he was kind of like, oh, this is nice, he would have got a bit more, maybe a little bit more chatty.
Okay. And you find out that her name is Gwyneth. She just has this like really like warm personality, and she's not like invasive or overly chatty, like, but you feel very at home. And she is a little bit older, like probably I'd say like early 50s maybe.
Okay.
Nothing but like she looks like young and like she takes care of herself, right?
Yeah.
And even like you can tell as you like spend more time around her, like she obviously dyes her hair because there's no way like that it would stay that black at her age, but it looks so like well kept and natural on her.
Dervish doesn't realize people can dye their hair. He doesn't realize this is a thing. This is why he was confused when she asked if is this his natural color. He doesn't realize you could do that.
You can change that about yourself.
Yeah.
Didn't we dye your hair last?
No,
I think it was a wig.
That's right. We put a wig on you.
There was a mullet wig. Yes.
Yeah, it was a very terrible wig.
Yeah.
There was also a hat at one point.
There was.
But yeah, so she just talks to you, and she you know, when she does take you over to the seat, you know, she pulls out some pins, and first she pulls up her braids and kind of coils them and then pins them back. And she says, sorry, when I'm cutting, I don't want to accidentally, you know, I lean forward and then they kind of, and I don't want to cut my own hair. Cutting one off would be terrible.
This is why I like to tie it up, is because like if I'm working, I don't want to cut my hair off as well. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Where do you work?
Lots of places. But mostly at a place. Do you know the Brass Ladle? It's like a shelter, just downtown.
Oh yes, yes, I do. That's wonderful work. That's incredible that you do that.
Yeah, very fulfilling.
Good. She says, yeah, actually, every once in a while I'll go down to that quarter and offer free haircuts for some of the those who wouldn't normally be able to afford my services, so that they can go do like job interviews and, you know, other things that they could, you know, get work or just feel good.
Oh, that's excellent.
It's important.
It is. It's nice to help people, you know.
But let's see. Checking my notes.
You know the scene in a movie where like people are hanging around and then like a bomb goes off? I feel like this is that. I feel like a bomb is about to go off.
And she says, are you dating anyone? Did you say? Sorry, I must have missed that.
Oh yeah, I've got this. I recently got back together with a lady I work with. Yeah. She actually booked this appointment. She was the one that did that. Yeah, she's the one who told me my hair's getting a little out of shape and needs something done to it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do have lovely hair, so you don't need to feel like, you know, self-conscious or anything about it at all.
Yeah, no, everyone keeps telling me that. I'm just like, it's just my hair, you know?
Yes, well, it is very thick and luxurious, and red is a standout color. There are plenty of people who strive for this color, let me tell you.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Good to know.
And, you know, she begins to like, you know, just trim it. And she says, you know, like, please look down, keep your chin to your chest, and, you know, does all of like the little things. And then she says, so tell me more about the Kolos people. I don't tend to hear very much about your people.
Sure.
I don't tend to get very many Kolos-blooded customers in general.
Yeah, I mean, you've been very accommodating. Sometimes we're not always welcome everywhere. So, no. So you know, we're just people. You know, we're like anyone else. There's like this, you know, sometimes feel like an understandable fear that because we used to be monsters of the old empire and all that kind of thing. That's we're still big scary monsters, but we're not. We're just we come and get haircuts and we over out in the roughs, there's whole communities of people. There's clans with hundreds of people in them. And we're just living our lives, hunting lions and chopping down palm trees just like anyone else. It's the normal things.
The normal thing, yes.
Yeah. Like when you get back to the end of the night after like a hard day tracking some bison, and you sit around the campfire and enjoy a big pot of stew. It's clean living.
Yes. Sometimes I do miss that kind of life. I technically, well, I moved out of the Enclave, a couple years back.
Are you from one of the Terrace Enclaves?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Oh, excellent. I've been thinking about those Terrace Enclaves a lot recently. It's nice that that culture, that ancient culture, has its own place to exist in Elendel.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, and I don't know if you know this, but a lot, I would say that the culture almost varies a little bit from enclave to enclave, right?
Yeah.
Like there are some very much that are like very traditional, and then there are some that are a little bit more relaxed, and I just I'm looking for the right one for me at this point.
That makes sense. Yeah, you'll find that the clans as well. It's some of them are very old style where power is everything. We're big people, and there's a lot of history in the way that we used to run things. But then there's other clans which are trying to put away those old ways of doing things, and they're trying to you guys have democracy here, and so we're trying to some clans have something similar going on where we pick leaders rather than just the guy at the top's the guy who killed the most people. It's that's the kind of traditionalists you can find up north.
Do you have any places in the city that do like allow you to celebrate your culture? Are you like have you been able to I mean, because obviously like I don't run into a lot of your people.
A lot of us in the city, we don't really run into each other much. Kind of, you make your way to Elendil when there's not a place for you, where you've left those Kolos people behind. It's not working for you, and it doesn't work for people in different ways. And so, my landlady actually is probably one of the first Kolos blooded people I've met in the city that I've not been related to. But she's great. She's nice. But no, there's not really a place for us. And in fact, that's actually something I've been kind of looking into setting up. I've been speaking with some people in the Terrace Enclaves about how they operate to see if we can't get something similar in Elendil.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I wish you luck with that. I hope that turns out to be a good thing for you.
Same. Thank you.
At the very least, like, I would hope that you could find a way to bring your culture more into your life. Like when I left my enclave, for the time being, there were traditions and such that I took with me to, into my home where I'm living now. And maybe you might consider doing the same, right?
Yeah, I like that idea. I might see if the landlady's up for a bit of soup after a long day of work. See what she thinks.
Yeah, that could be good for you.
Yeah.
And maybe your girlfriend would join you.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, but she just continues like cutting her hair, and then and I think we'll leave that scene there. Hallie. So Hallie arrives around the bookstore, and she sees the line that has been forming up, and the people that are passing by, and she does see standing in line next to this girl that has her nose buried in a book. She sees Royce,
and she's just kind of like both profoundly relieved to see him in one piece, and also like her nerves just skyrocket. She's officially a mess. I mean, she was already a mess, and now it's just warming up. So to describe Hallie, Hallie is definitely of Terra's heritage. She's about 5'2" if you're being generous with her height. Very petite. Tends to wear very practical clothing, like basic trousers and button-up shirts. Right now, she is not wearing her tool belt because it just didn't seem to make sense to strap that on. But she does have her brass knuckles tucked into a pocket because, it's one of her metal mines. She is a fire soul faring, so she can store and draw on heat. She usually runs around 1/2 to 2/3 full on her metal mines, so she has some space to store heat if she needs to. And she's, in general, kind of cute as a button. Right now, she looks like she's not been getting enough sleep, has maybe been pushing herself too hard, and generally not in as great a condition as she should be. So Hallie's gonna kind of, she's basically frozen at this point. She kind of freezes up because she's like, but maybe I'll just wait until after he's gone in and come back out, and maybe there's like a place nearby that it's like a broadsheet stand or something, and she'll go look for one of those.
Yeah, so there are like, broadsheet stands and like food stands and, like little carts that have been set up kind of, more in like the, not gutters, but,
she's going to skip the food right now because her stomach is in knots, but she will pick up a broadsheet and kind of lean against a pole nearby and pretend to read it.
Royce, you notice, you don't know who it is, but you notice Hallie standing across the street looking very suspicious, standing there with a broadsheet.
She's, trying not to look at him.
Yeah, not trying to look at him, not trying to,
because as far as she knows, he's going to recognize her when he sees her. So, like the broadsheet is there to cover her face.
But definitely acting odd, if anyone was. And obviously you're noticing her because you're people watching. Had you not been people watching, probably,
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like weird, but does it's unless she does something more like overtly, it's like she is going to run at the author with a knife. He's not going to do anything yet. Just another thing he's noticed.
Okay. So it's around, it's getting towards like 9:45, 10 o'clock. And a carriage rolls around back. Royce probably notices this. Not many of the other people, notice it. They're too wrapped up in their thing. But there is a constable sitting next to the driver.
Okay.
We're going to pause on that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to go to Marelyn. So you and Ghost have made your way to Hallie's parents' house.
Yeah.
Hallie's place. They just live there.
Ghost has determined otherwise.
Ghost is wrong in this particular case.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm teasing you. You've made your way to Hallie's house. And Hallie's father is out front tending the garden. And, Ghost kind of stands at the garden gate and just kind of looks up at you expectantly.
So
And Hallie's...
I met Hallie's
Marelyn alone with Hallie's parents. This is one of her worst nightmares.
No, I was just asking if Marelyn has met her parents before.
None of you have
No.
met Hallie's parents.
Okay.
Hallie has gone a good distance to try to keep you all distanced from her family. And I think, did Marelyn know where Hallie lived?
Yes, because she has followed her home before.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Because otherwise Ghost did know where Hallie lived. So they both just, kind of walked that way, knowing together. But otherwise, yeah, so you're at the front gate. And he doesn't seem to notice you. He's an older fellow.
He is very distinctly not of Terrace heritage. He is.
I didn't know how to
Yeah.
phrase that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dude, kind of blonde hair that's gone gray. Got kind of a bald spot on the back of his head. There's definitely a family resemblance there, though.
Hello, I'm looking for Hallie. Is she in?
He looks up and says, "Oh, no, she's not home. She went to some." Hallie, would you have told them where you went?
No, she's just like, I have errands I need to run.
She went out, probably for her work or something.
Ow. So, do you happen to know how long she said she'll be back out?
She's pretty independent.
Mm-hmm.
She tells us sometimes when she's going to be home, at least whether or not she's going to be home for dinner. She was intending to be home for dinner tonight.
Well,
He says, why don't you open the gate and come on in? You don't have to stand there on the walk.
mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll take that as an invitation to come in. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to come right. I was like, I should invite myself in. But
I, as the player, am loving this. Hallie would be utterly mortified.
And Ghost just walks in. He's carrying his little box. And Hallie's father looks at the box and looks at Ghost and says, "And who are you?" And he says, "I'm Chester."
Good. He's learning.
His real name.
Can't use your code name outside of the crew. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's probably worth noting that they do have one cat in the house. They used to have two up until one of them died of old age last year.
Oh.
Yes. Did Hallie mention this? We went on that trip with her a couple of months back where we visited her extended family. I don't know if I'm Marelyn. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Oh, are you one of her associates?
Yes, you could call us that.
Would you? You're Marelyn. Did she mention a Marelyn?
She has specifically avoided mentioning names.
He looks off to the side. No matter.
Are your parents aware of what you do?
No, they have absolutely no idea the criminal stuff.
Nope.
Yeah,
And you guys would know that.
Yeah.
He says, "Do you want to leave a message?"
Well, not sure if it's really a message matter. And I'm just say
And Ghost pipes up, "I have a kitten for her."
yes,
And he goes, "Do you now?"
Chester was trying to convince me to adopt the kid, but I'm not really in a place to care for a cat myself. I live alone. I'm often in and out, and I can't really. I need a space that's darker and quiet, and having a living creature there doesn't really help. And I know Hallie cares. I thought Hallie might be someone who would appreciate a cat.
And Chester seems to look over at the house, and you notice watching out the window is Hallie's mother. Hallie, will you describe your mom for me?
Now, this is clearly where Hallie's Terrace genes came from. Hallie's mom is maybe an inch and a half shorter than Hallie, but exudes personality and general momishness. She is like peak mom. And you can just pick that up from a single glance. She will mother the hell out of anyone who comes within range.
Okay.
So you're trying to give my daughter a cat?
Yes.
And he looks at Chester. He says, "Well, let's see the little beast." And Chester puts down his box, opens it up, and then pulls out the kitten, which just looks around like, "Oh, it's back in the world again."
And how old is this kitten? I mean,
it's maybe like 7 weeks. Like, it's definitely
probably was too young to be taken from its mother at this point.
Oh, for sure. But it's not like it was taken from its mother. It's like he found it.
Right.
There's a reason he has a kitten. And he just holds it up. And Hallie's father goes, "Yes, well, it's a little scrawny thing, isn't it?" And Chester nods and he's like, "Kind of like Hallie." and Hallie's dad goes, clearly trying to not chuckle.
but just making that dad face. And then he says, Chester says, so will you take the cat? Can I give it to Hallie? Or are you the not fun parents? And at that, he kind of goes to like cover his laugh, and he says, well, I think that's up to Hallie. Hallie is an adult and makes her own decisions. And this is her house, so if she wants a cat, she can have a cat. And Chester goes, "This is her house?"
But you live here.
And
But it also
the
be
door
worth,
opens.
it is worth mentioning at this point that Hallie learned her love of all things kitty from her mother. Her mother's going to take one look at this kitten, and it's not going anywhere.
The door has opened at this point, and Hallie's mother is now coming down the walk, through the garden. And she says, why are the guests not coming inside? And Ghost looks up at Marelyn.
Well, we would love to come in. Thank you. I'm gonna start going into Hallie's house.
And Chester kind of tucks the kitten into one arm, and then tries to maneuver it so he can pick up the box, and then doesn't do very well, and then puts the kitten back in the box, and picks up the box and waits a moment for Hallie's dad to see if he's gonna come, and then Hallie's dad seems to do this. Does he want to garden? Or does he want to see more of this? And they all go inside. Hallie's dad follows. And immediately sits down and pulls out a broadsheet, flicks it open, and just watches from over the broadsheet.
Yeah, that's where Hallie learned that one.
As Marelyn and Chester are brought in by Hallie's mother. Now come on in. Would you like some cake? I made some coffee cake this morning. Sit right on down right here. It's a very cozy little place.
Thank you. Cake would be lovely.
Hallie, will you describe the house past what I've said?
I mean, for the most part, the house is, very cute, well kept. I mean, they brought some of the old country accoutrements from the old farmstead, and it looks very warm. There's a rack with quilts. There are afghans thrown all over the place. It's just super, super cozy. If you were to see Hallie's room, it's a bit of a disaster, but that's mostly because her room is also her workshop.
Yeah.
Hallie's mom goes and, fixes a little plate with some cake and berries and, asks what would like Marelyn and Chester would like to drink, and, feeds them. But clearly she is looking over at that box just about every chance she can get. And as soon as she has you fed, she says, May I see the kitten? May I?
Of course.
And as soon as Marelyn says, of course, Ghost is already pulling the box and pushing it towards her, and yes, I was thinking that his name could be Sam. It's not a very dignified name, but it seems to suit him. And Hallie's mom,
scoops the cat out of the box and is like, "Aren't you so cute? You're just a little doll, aren't you?" Yes. And then Chester, seeing that this is going very well, tucks into his cake.
Ghost has succeeded in his mission.
Yeah, so as I was telling your husband outside, Chester here wants me to adopt this cat, but I'm not really in a place where I can take care of an animal. You know, I live alone. I'm often in and out for long periods of time from my job, and you know, I can't really live in a space with other living creatures because I get headaches. And it's just better if I have like a dark, quiet space that I can live in without an animal. And I just, you know, I know Hallie is someone who, you know, cares for animals, and I thought maybe she would like the chance to take care of this cat. You know, I would hate, you know, Chester's such a, you know, empathetic young boy. You know, it would hurt him deeply if we had to take this animal to a shelter or something. You know, I don't want to see that happen.
Oh, of course. Well, I'm sure that we can find a little home for this cutie. I'm sure that Hallie would love to have them. And if not, I'll take them. And Chester kind of like, there's this brief moment where like he narrows his eyes and seems a little miffed by this, but then he relaxes and goes back to eating his cake anyway.
Thank you. That would be lovely. I'm sorry. I do have to warn you though that taking this kid might mean you have this little rascal hanging about more than you expect, and I kind of ruffle Ghost's hair.
Oh, that's all right. That's not a problem. Obviously, you know Hallie, and we're always wanting to get to know Hallie's friends. She doesn't bring anyone around very much, so it's lovely to meet you.
Of course, yeah. Hallie, you know, she's a private person, but did I try one of the muffins that your mom made? I don't remember who you gave those to.
I mean, yeah, you probably have indeed sampled Hallie's mother's cooking, and you know it's good.
Yeah, I've she doesn't talk much about her home life, but I've tried your baking, you know, from when she's brought treats around, and you know, it was very lovely.
And from the chair, Hallie's father says they took a trip together.
Oh yes. I was with her a couple months ago when we went out into the roughs and met some of your extended family.
Oh.
I don't know what Hallie told her parents about what happened on that trip and why.
I mean, she wasn't really able to disguise too much because she knew that her mother would be getting the letter from those relatives detailing it. So she had to be honest about what happened, but she phrased it so we were kind of here by accident, and we knew this was happening, and so we sort of needed to help, and we did.
Well, I'm so very glad that you were a part of that. You know, we would love to have you and your other associates over for dinner sometime as a thank you. We know that you did so much for the people of Belton.
Oh, that would be lovely. You know, I couldn't say no to more of your delicious cooking.
Good.
So doomed.
Well, let me put together some things. We can keep the kitten here if you'd like, and I'll talk to Hallie about it later. But also, I have
some ointment for you said you get headaches. Would you like to try it? You can like rub it into your neck and into your head right here. And perhaps that will help.
Oh, that would be lovely. I haven't found too much that works. The one remedy I have found is can be a bit expensive if I use it consistently. So I'm always willing to try new methods. Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
well, I'll get that, and I'll put a few a few other things in the basket for you. Just give me a moment. And she takes the kitten with her as she like goes back into the kitchen and begins to like put together a basket. Okay, let's skip to Luka.
Yeah. Where the bomb's about to go off.
Luka,
Not a little literal bomb.
Hopefully.
Luka,
Explode.
you are sitting in the bookstore as through the back door walks a tall woman of probably like half terrace descent, dark hair, but like blue eyes, so not completely terrace. And following after her are the constables. And she looks a little bit out of her element in the city, especially like by the way that she dresses and such. And she comes in and she like looks around, kind of assesses everything, and then goes and sits in a chair that's been prepared for her, just like with the siding table, and just kind of begins to move like pens around and like books around. She doesn't really talk to anyone or anything. And the constable comes and stands next to her. And the bookstore owner, she walks over and introduces herself and is, quite friendly. And obviously, this is the author Alara Kelson. And, she, has barely noticed you, but has just made assumptions that you are supposed to be there.
Okay. And the bookstore owner isn't like waving the constables over to me or anything?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. Okay.
But they just came in and, are...
Yeah, they're greeting.
And there's only one constable that's coming.
Only one. Okay. When you say she doesn't look out of place because of how she dresses, like not fashionable, like kind of like rural?
Yeah, it's very rural. It's like what you would expect to find. It's like Ruff's clothing, but done up.
Okay. I might have seen some similar attire in the small town where I grew up. Because it's like near the edge. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Luka will kind of stand awkwardly, like just off to the side and kind of wave and wait to be acknowledged.
And Alara doesn't make any eye contact with you. It's like she's just in her own little like preparation mode, like, trying to get herself centered and, focused. And, she's almost even ignoring the shop owner, who has now like started just talking to the constable. And you notice that she's, gesturing at the constable and, then towards you and, kind of obviously he's here and, is this all right? Like, can he talk to her and, that kind of thing.
So does it seem like I could approach then?
It would be a fine time to approach, but you haven't been called over.
Okay. And I'm going to ask one other question. So back when I sent you my list of NPCs, I talked about Adine Ilariel's investment portfolio. And I said one of the industries she's most keen on is publishing.
Yes.
Looking at the book, is there a chance that the publisher of the book is one that I know might be affiliated with my grandmother?
Let's have a spirits roll.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Okay.
We'll get a spirits roll of 2.
Of 2? Okay.
Give you a decent chance.
Cool. So, okay, yeah, maybe I'll try to spend influence to say this is maybe a publisher with which my grandmother. So I still
with that.
I still roll.
I think so.
You
Yeah.
roll
but-
the amount, and then you take one off. Then the next time you roll, it's one less.
Okay.
Then it gets
Okay.
refreshed after a long.
So then, yeah, influence. So what would the difficulty be?
2.
2. Okay. And could I add recognizing? This is a little bit of a stretch. No, I'm not going to do that one actually. Okay, so 6 dice for my influence.
A lot of ones.
That is a lot of ones.
But
Yeah.
you have nudges.
I
Have
have
enough nudges?
3 nudges, so I'm going to bump that up to a 2.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yes. So it is a publisher that is within your grandmother's portfolio, in fact. It is a large publisher, a very well-known publisher that often works with mystery writers. And actually that the Marple Mystery Series the Marple Mystery Series was originally published by a smaller imprint, which was
Subsumed. Acquired.
yeah, I was like slurped up by. That's not right,
Acquired.
but like acquired by the larger company.
Okay. So Luka's going to swan up. He's got a couple different ways he could play this, but he basically promised his boss he was going to get this done. So he swans up and says, excuse me, Miss... Why can I not remember this name? Kelsey?
Alara Kelson. Kelsey.
No N. Kelsey.
No,
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
No.
Excuse me, Miss Kelsey. My name's Luka Ilariel, and I'm wondering if I could just borrow you for a moment of your time. And as he's talking, he reaches out a hand to shake, and it's the hand that has one of the Ilariel signet rings, because since he's wearing some of his grandfather's rings.
Roll charm.
Okay.
Or influence.
This feels like a charm. It's person to
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Roll charm.
Okay. Character sheet.
Oh, this is gonna be a 4.
A 4?
Better add that inviting smile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can I add the inviting smile?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, so that will be 6.
Already used your nudges.
I used up the
Oh.
nudges. Come on.
Oh,
And it's a 3 with a nudge. I don't have more, so.
She continues to look down, and does not move for your hand, and she says, I do not speak with fans or
No, sorry. I'm not actually no offense. I haven't had the pleasure of reading your books yet. Other than this one, which I was, just perusing while I waited. So my grandmother is Adine Alariel, and I was just hoping if we could have a brief conversation before the fans come in. I know you have a very busy day, and these people are very enthused about your work and can be tough to deal with. So I won't take too much of your time, I promise.
She looks up at you and goes, "Why?"
Why do I wish to speak with you?
Yes.
It's a matter of some sensitivity.
And she looks at the bookstore owner and the constable and then back at you and she says, we can talk here.
Excellent. I'm here as a favor to a friend who is a big fan of your books.
I don't talk to fans.
No, my friend is a fan of yours. However, over tea with my grandmother, it's come up a couple times that there's concerns about, whether genre fiction is the right fit for this imprint. And I've been, because this friend of mine loves your book so much, I've been kind of prevailing upon her that it, just because it's not a genre she traditionally follows closely, it's still very valuable, and I've been trying to convince her of the merits. And I just know my friend would be so heartbroken if the future of the publication of these novels were to be put in jeopardy. And so I just wanted to speak with you to see if I could learn anything that I could bring back to my grandmother to reassure her of the quality and the value of your works.
Your investments aren't of my concern.
It's not about making money. It's about making sure your legacy, your brand, your the gift you're giving all these fans out there continues on. And I just want to help with that in any way I can.
She looks at the bookstore owner and then looks at the constable and says, and then looks to you and says, I don't want to be here.
Would you like me to help with that?
No, I'm here as a I have to be here for my publisher.
Well, if this is a nuisance to you, something as important as you, I'm sure I could talk to someone at the publisher's office and, get you out of these silly engagements so you can focus on what you love, writing.
And she pauses.
Pulled up the
Roll me charm.
She's pulled out a straight up, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So finally we depart from her being an avatar of Sanderson.
Yeah. Could I roll improviser? Because Luka is
making stuff up as he goes.
Yeah. I didn't ask the difficulty.
Oh,
You got 5s.
It's 5.
yeah, it's fine. You got 5s.
Yeah.
She goes quiet. And she says, you want something. What do you want?
I was hoping for this friend, just because they're very stressed about the future of the series. And also for my grandmother to kind of, push with her to keep things going.
You don't have to sugarcoat it. Just say.
I was hoping to get a signed copy of this book, as well as copies of the 3 novels you've reportedly finished as an advanced reading copy.
And she thinks, if you make sure I don't have to do another one of these signing things and I don't have to come back into the city, that's fine. And then she takes the book from you that you have. She puts it down. She signs it, and then she gives it back to you. And she says, "You can leave now."
I will get on it, and then we will meet up with the good news, and I'll pick up those copies. Where should I contact you once I've done the?
At this point, the bookstore owner and the constable have exchanged glances, and the constable says, "I thought you were working for Captain Ulfin."
I do work not directly with the constable, but with his wife. In a more, and he kind of glances at the young woman or at the author and says, in a more discreet capacity.
And the shopkeeper says, "So you lied to me?"
I'm sorry, miss. It's very sensitive. It's for your own protection, to be honest. This is very sensitive
And
subject.
the constable says, "Let's talk out back."
Excellent. That would have been how I would have preferred to have handled this. He takes his signed book and just tells the author, he's like, we'll be in touch. I'll talk to your people and I'll get this done for you.
And she goes back to straightening her pencils and, rearranging her books.
Okay.
Hey, Hallie.
Not doing anything other than,
I would like you to roll me a spirits roll.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything other than
You haven't rolled me a spirits roll, right?
Nope.
Spirits roll of 4.
4. Dang. Well, this will be probably a failure, but or not.
Or not.
Or you roll a pair of 4s.
Yeah.
And
I get a nudge to bank.
Yeah.
From your vantage point of where you're standing, across the street, right? Reading your broadsheet and watching Royce. You see someone on the roof of the bookstore.
Oh,
And what does this someone look like? I am now paying very intent attention to this person on the roof of the bookstore.
You vaguely recognize them as a lurcher
Yes.
that the constable was chasing in the episode of season 1.
And being suspicious on top of the bookstore when there are already so many constables around. Is there a constable nearby me?
No, they are across the street.
Okay.
Kind of actually, around the bookstore and around all the people.
I will approach the nearest one and tell them that I saw someone on the roof of the bookstore because that seems suspicious.
Are you, okay. Thank you so much. And immediately, right, there's no question of are you sure? It's just,
Yeah.
off.
Okay.
And they go,
Yeah, and Hallie has kind of lost her nervousness at this point because that was enough to like. She has a job to do. She doesn't. That can give her something to ignore her anxiety for like 30 seconds or so.
And it put you a lot closer. Like you had to actually walk with it.
Right.
Probably, like 7 feet of Royce to get
at this
across.
point, yeah, she can't really hide from like, but she doesn't know he doesn't recognize
he's noticed.
her.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, so she'll send the constables off, and then eye contact with Royce, and the confidence is gone.
This little like adorable part terrace woman is like just staring at you like deer in headlights.
Like Royce like does the like polite nod and then looks elsewhere. Like,
and
this is
the nervousness goes immediately to confusion. And she'll walk a few steps closer and go, Royce, are you okay?
God, I have to do this. Why?
Well, if it's in the consequences of my
own actions.
Yes. Don't worry, I'm sure it'll get worse.
Yeah. So Royce would look back in some confusion. He would say, what would he say? Of course, you have me interact with Hallie first. You don't let me interact with someone I know so that they can figure it out and tell the others.
Nope. It has to be the one who's going to suffer the most.
Yeah. He would probably say, I'm sorry, have we met?
And she looks actually a little bit annoyed for the moment.
And like there is like genuine like no recognition.
And she's like, this isn't funny. And I mean, Hallie's not dumb. She's going to start putting the pieces together here real fast.
It's like, so you say this isn't funny. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't know who you are.
And she'd be like, it's only been 2 months. How could you have? And a realization hits her face, and she's like, "Oh, Royce, what did you do?" And then it goes from like shock to horror to like just absolute devastation as she realizes what you've done to yourself because what you've done before, and that this person that she has been trying to pretend she doesn't have feelings for has in fact deliberately forgotten who she is. And between all of that and all the other stress she's been under and just the general thing, this is the moment when Hallie snaps into an Allomancer.
Oh, God.
Oh!
Hallie,
Yeah, this is the moment I've been waiting for months.
you become like deeply aware of the heat rising in your body, which is a familiar feeling, but you also become very aware of like the way your body like is quaking and just kind of that pit that has like ground itself into the depths of your chest, and kind of the way your throat is tightening, and you become even more deeply aware of just the physical reaction your body is having to your emotions. And
Probably
this is not just a normal physical reaction to your emotions.
Something weird happening, but she's like got too much to deal with at the moment. And like she's like almost physically shaking, and there's this. She is fighting to retain control, Finally, she's just like, "Are you safe?"
How much do I say?
I mean, she's just like, yeah. I mean, there's clearly something going on here.
As you said, it's been 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Because she just started, it took her verbalizing the, "Wow, could you have oh."
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, enough about what you did to watch the pieces come together behind her eyes and go, "Oh shit."
Well, you don't know exactly how much.
Yeah.
No. So he would say, "I did what I needed to do. Yes, I'm safe.
Okay.
You shouldn't be here."
Hallie will dig into her pocket, pull out a pencil and a paper. She'll write down the address of the brass label. She will shove it at you like, "You have friends. If you need help, go here."
Royce will take it.
And she basically flees.
Mm-hmm.
And as Hallie is like walking down the road,
Mm-hmm.
Royce hears a click on the roof. And then there's an explosion.
Yeah!
There is a bomb.
And the sky just lights into fire.
Yes!
There is an explosion.
Yes!
One quick thing of like what Royce does as Hallie is walking away is that he rips up that piece of paper and drops it to the ground.
You idiot! I was trying to give you an in to get back to the crew, but no.
I know that.
You were worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
And Marelyn,
Mm-hmm.
from the distance, you can hear the explosion. You can feel the turmoil that rises up from the people in the area, like the shock, the fear, the, like what just happened. And then you feel your head begin to pound with pain.
Okay.
Ooh.
And that is where we will end our episode.
I figured.
I love that this thing exploded. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Royce's bullshit snapped Hallie.
Yeah.
See, it was necessary. I gave you an opportunity.
There
It
were
was a
plenty of
good
other
idea.
ways. There were plenty of other ways to make me twinborn, damn it.
Like I want to do a roll, but I think that's probably a next session thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if like we're gonna wind up on the ground from the shockwave or what the hell's gonna happen, but
I can't wait to see what Dervish does.
that'd be great.
He's gonna be great.
Voice is not doing well.
And-
God,
That was a loud noise.
And sorry, so what happened to the guy on the roof? I think I missed a second. So like Hallie, they
Sounds like
clocked him
Mhm.
and
Hallie sent a constable up.
right. Yeah.
and then something
Okay.
exploded.
Dervish, have you been
And
throwing
something up there
Molotov
exploded.
cocktails again?
Not this time. I'm getting through my haircut, and I really hope she's finished with the haircut when the bomb goes off. Because if it's half done, and I'm having to go save people from a fire, that's gonna be terrible.
The salon isn't next door to the bookshop, is it?
It's opposite.
It is.
Down the street.
It is
It's-
across
Oh,
the
it
street.
is.
It's just down the
Okay.
street. Cool. So thank you everyone so much for watching episode 1 of season 2 of Diceborn. I hope you've enjoyed. Another thank you to Natasha for playing this, for running this game for us. And you can find the rest of us on 72shard.com for your news, theories, discussion, and fun. You can find us on Discord, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube, and this is also on Spotify. if you like what we do enough to give us some money, we have a Patreon. And so you can go there. We'll probably be releasing some fun stuff on the Patreon related to Diceborn. So if you're enjoying this, then there's more content there. And so, yeah, stay tuned for more and keep those dice rolling. Bye.
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 Thanks for watching Diceborn. This show is a production of the 17th Shard and uses the Mistborn Adventure Game system developed by CraftyGames. Diceborn features cast performances by Ben as Dervish, Rosemary as Hallie de Passel, Matt as Luka Alariel, Grace as Marelyn Dramali, Ian as Royce Hadriel, and Natasha, your Lord Roller, as everyone and everything else. Background art and overlays were designed by Connor Chamberlain, with character portraits illustrated by Sharath. The Mistborn Dice Roller was programmed by Marvin. Finally, editing, post-production, and sound design by Alyx. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.